Hello students. Today we will be doing the sums on probability. The concept we have done in the first video, that is the part 1 of probability. In detail everything was dealt, everything was discussed, types of the sums were discussed and how to solve the sums, that also was discussed. Now we will be doing the exercise sums. Now before starting the exercise sums, few sums which used to come in the examination and which is considered as the famous questions, you can say, or the general questions of probability, which is generally asked in the interviews also, means interview for a job, in that also it is sometimes asked. Now let us do those sums which I feel is to be discussed. Question number 1 which I have written over here is, what is the probability of having 53 Sundays in a number 1 leap year and number 2 normal year? Now in the solution part, we know that a normal year has 52 Sundays, 52 weeks complete, we can say 52 weeks and 1 day, where and a leap year has 52 weeks and 2 days. Now how 52 weeks 1 day or 52 weeks 2 days you will be calculating, means dividing 365 by 7 then over here this 1 day is left, then again 366 if you divide by 7, 2 days will be left. This calculation is actually not required in the solution part, just for your satisfaction I showed over here. Now in a normal year or a leap year, this 52 weeks is fixed, okay. The change is only for 1 day in the normal year and 2 days extra for the leap year. Now if 52 weeks is there fixed, so for 52 weeks, 52 Sundays, or in place of Sunday it may be mentioned Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, any day can be mentioned. So in 52 weeks 52 Sundays are fixed. I think you got my point. 52 weeks 52 Sundays are fixed. So rest we have to talk about the day left, that is in a normal year this 1 day, what is the probability that this extra 1 day is Sunday or not. If it is Sunday, then there are only 53 Sundays in leap year or normal year. 1 day if it is, then for the normal year, and if it is 2 days we will have to check that 2 days probability to be Sunday. So for a normal year 1 extra day, for a leap year 2 extra day. So let us talk about first the leap year. Now number 1, in a leap year the extra 2 days can be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 2 extra days are there, no? So in continuity they will be there, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Sunday, Monday. So this much probabilities are there that those 2 extra days can be any of these options. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 probable options are there. Now what we want? Sunday. So in these 4 options, our favorable option we have to find in which there is Sunday. So if we see, the Sunday option is only in two options. Okay? Therefore, over here we can write ns equals to 7. Total number of means options or the observations in S is 7. So ns equals to 7. Now let E1 equals to event that in the extra 2 days, 1 day is Sunday. ठीक है? Then Sunday option we will be writing, that is E is equals to Saturday. I am writing the elements of E: Saturday, Sunday, and Sunday, Monday. ठीक है? Therefore n of E1 equals to 2. Therefore P of E1 equals to, now we can E1, since we have specified over here that it is the event that in the extra 2 days 1 day is Sunday. So P E1, that is probability that in the extra 2 days 1 day is Sunday. That is only the required probability. So P E1 equals to probability of having 53 Sundays in leap year equals to NE1 by NS equals to 2 by 7. So easy sum, only the thing you have to understand the concept. Now number 2. In a normal year, the extra 1 day can be S equals to Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Therefore NS equals to 7. Let E2 equals to event that the extra 1 day is Sunday. So this is only one option over here, this one. So therefore N of E2 equals to 1. Therefore P of E2 equals to probability that a normal year has 53 Sundays equals to N of E2 by N of S equals to 1 by 7, and this is the answer. So good question, interesting question. Let us do one more question before starting the exercise. What is the probability that two friends have their birthdays or birthday on the number 1 same day and number 2 different day. This also is a famous question. So question is saying that suppose two friends are there, suppose A and B. Now what is the probability that A and B have their birthdays on the same day or on the different day? So in the solution part, the probable combination of their birthdays, as we prepared for 2 dice, if you remember, the probable combination of their birthdays are S equals to, suppose the birthday of the first person or the first friend is on 1st of January, so 1. Then the second person may have the birthday on any of the day from 1st January to 31st December. So 1, that is till 365th day. So over here 1, then 1 2, 1 3, 1 4, and till it will go to 1 365th day. Similarly 2 1, 2 2, 2 3, 2 4, until 2 365th day. In a similar manner, over here 365th day, his birthday falls on 365th day, then the other's birthday may fall on the first day, second day, third day, and so on till 365th day only. So here we can see that they have their same birthday in the corner. You can see in the corner 1 1 2 2 3 3 4 4 5 5 and so on till 365. And the number of such observations or such probable combination is 365 only, because in each row we are getting, or each column, we can say each row also, each column also, if we talk about, we are getting one option of the same combination on both, for both the friends 1 1 2 2 and so on. So such probable combination is 365. Okay, and the total number of combination is 365 into 365, that is 365 into 365. So therefore we will be writing NS equals to 365 into 365. Now number 1, E1 equals to event that the two friends have their birthday on same day, equals to 1 1, 2 2, 3 3, and so on till 365. So clearly N of E1 equals to 365. Therefore P of E1 equals to probability. The same statement we will write with the word probability that the two friends have their birthday on same day equals to NE1 by NS equals to 365 by 365 into 365. So this 365 will be cancelled and answer is 1 by 365. So for the same day, the answer is 1 by 365. Now for the second one, for different day, so we can take for the different day, means by calculation also, but the same day and the different day, these are forming the complement of each other. So E2 equals to event that their birthday falls on different day. Therefore PE2 equals to 1 minus PE1 equals to 1 minus 1 by 365 equals to 364 by 365. And this is the answer for the probability that the two friends have their birthday on different day. If you don't want to use this relation, that is complementary relation, it's clear that their birthdays on different day. So if we over here, means suppose the total probable options is 365 into 365, that is NS is 365 minus 365 minus 365, the days when their birthday was falling on the same date. So if you subtract this, this will be equals to 365 into 364. This is the day on which their birthday is falling on different day. So required probability will be 365 into 364 divided by 365 into 365. So these two will be cancelled and your answer will be 364 by 365, which we got over here. So either you do this one or that one, both are the same actually. Here, since they are forming the complementary statements, that's why with the help of this formula I have done. Now let us move to the next question. So let us start the exercise sums, that is exercise 15.1 of NCERT. Children, please open your textbook, page number 308, NCERT exercise 15.1. So I'll be discussing each question. I'll be trying to discuss each question. And the question which is very easy, quite means obvious, the answer is quite obvious, that I won't be discussing. So only the sums which I feel should be discussed with you, I'll be discussing. So let us start. Exercise 15.1, question number 1. Fill up cities. Question number 1, subpart number 1. Probability of an event E plus probability of the event not E is always equals to 1. Remember, PE plus PE complement equals to 1 was given in one of the notes. Number 2, the probability of an event that cannot happen is always 0, and such an event is called null event or zero event. And such a probability is called null probability or zero probability, remember. Number 3, the probability of an event that is certain to happen is 1, and such an event is always called sure event, sure probability. Okay, event is called sure event. If probability it is asked, you will be writing sure probability. Number 4, the sum of the probabilities of all the elementary events of an experiment is always equals to 1. Number 5, the probability of an event is always greater than or equals to 0 and less than or equals to 1. This also has been done in notes. Now, question number 2, which of the following experiments have equally likely outcomes? Explain. Now, equally likely outcomes has been explained in the explanation part. Always keep in mind, whatever the outcome will come, the number of the outcomes or whatever the outcome is come, their coming of the outcomes or happening of the outcomes is equally likely or not. Means suppose we toss a coin, then head and tail comes. Then coming of head and tail in a tossing of a coin is equally likely. So the question is asking that whatever the events mentioned over here, that is equally likely or not. Number 2, number 1. Subpart number 1. A driver attempts to start a car. The car starts or not. So here the explanation I have written over here. Number 1. The car starts normally, okay, but when there is some defect, then the car will not start. So the outcome is not equally likely, because over here the card, if the card has some defect, so obviously the card will never start, means it will not start. So starting and not starting is not equally likely. If the car is perfect, then obviously if the driver attempts the car to start, either he will be starting or not starting. But if the car is defective, he cannot start only. So only the option, the outcome is not start. So the outcomes are not equally likely. Number 2, a player attempts to shoot a basketball. He or she shoots or misses the shot. Here also, the outcome depend on many factors such as the training of the player, quality of the basketball, etc. Suppose the environment also is not okay. It means wind is blowing, then the basketball will not go. Means will not go only. Outcome is will not go. And if it is perfect, every situation is perfect, the means basketball is up to the height, the player is very perfect, then the outcome is only the basketball will go in its aim. So here only the aim is yes. So the outcomes are not equally likely. Here I have written not equally likely. Number 3, a trial is made to answer a true false question. So you are given a true false question, you have to answer only true or false, not any other option is there. So obviously you will be either writing true or false if you are knowing the answer. So the outcome in trial of true false question is either true or false, hence the two outcomes are equally likely. Number 4, a baby is born, it is a boy or a girl. A new baby can be either a boy or a girl, so both the outcomes are equally likely. Here obviously the third gender we will not accept by default, only this two options, boy or a girl, is acceptable over here. Okay. Now question number 3, why is tossing a coin considered to be a fair way of deciding which team should get the ball at the beginning of a football game? Now here also the explanation I have written. When we toss a coin, we get either head or tail. Right now I was explaining about it, which are equally likely outcomes. Hence the result of the toss of the coin is completely unpredictable when we will toss it, or unbiased, and hence tossing of a coin is a fair way of deciding which team will play. Now let us move to number 4. Number 4 is, which of the following cannot be a probability of an event? So 4 options are there. Number A 2/3, number B -1.5, number C 15%, and number D is 0.7. So out of the 4 options we can see that number B option is negative. The rest all are lying between 0 to 1 only. So over here option number B cannot be the probability of an event, because I have explained the concept was given that a probability of an event cannot be less than 0, more than 1, or negative. Now question number 5, if P equals to 0.05, what is the probability of not E? Obviously P not E equals to 1 minus PE equals to 1 minus 0.05 equals to 0.95. Question number 6, a bag contains lemon flavored candies only. A bag is there in which whatever candies are there, they are lemon flavored only. Malini takes out one candy without looking into the bag. What is the probability that she takes out an orange flavored candy? So in the bag, whatever candies are there, they were only lemon. So whatever she will take out, that will be lemon flavored only. So the question is asking what is the probability that she takes out an orange flavored candy. So obviously answer is 0, because no orange flavored candy is there in the bag. Now number 2, a lemon flavored candy. Always the probability will be 1, because whatever candies were there, they were lemon flavored candies only. Question number 7, it is given that in a group of 3 students, the probability of 2 students not having the same birthday is 0.992. What is the probability that 2 students have the same birthday? Obviously right now we discussed before starting the exercise like this sum, that is having on the same birthday and not having on the same birthday is a complementary event. So the answer will be 1 minus 0.992, that is 0.008. Question number 8. A bag contains 3 red and 5 black balls. 3 red and 5 black balls. A ball is drawn at random from the bag. What is the probability that the ball drawn is red? So you will be writing total number of balls, that is NS equals to 8, and red you will be writing with E1 and all write E and not red with E complement. So red is 3. So for red it is P red will be equals to 3 by 8 and P not red. So P not red, I am writing with P r bar, will be equals to 1 minus 3 by 8, that is 5 by 8. Now question number 9. A bag contains 5 red marbles. Question number 9. A bag contains 5 red marbles, 8 white marbles and 4 green marbles. Okay, one marble is taken out of the random. What is the probability that the marble drawn out will be red? So first total number of marbles we will be calculating. That will be equals to 13 and 4 is 17. So NS is 17. Now P red it is asking. So the probability of getting a red ball will be number of red divided by total. P white, that is probability of getting a white ball will be white divided by total, and P not green. So P G bar if we write, or we will, if we will be adding this, then also we will be getting 13 by 17. But P not green we can calculate by 1 minus P green, that also we can do. So 1 minus 4 by 17. So this will be equals to 13 by 17, or adding these two also we will be getting, because these two are the probabilities of not green only. Now question number 10. Question number 10 is saying that a piggy bank contains 150 coins. Number 10, 150 paisa coins and 51 rupee coin. 1 rupee coin is 50 and 22 rupees coin. 2 rupees coin is how much? 20. And 10 5 rupees coin and 10 5 rupees coin. It is equally likely that one of the coins will fall out when the bank is turned upside down. What is the probability that the coin will be? Number 1, a 50 coin. So 50 paisa coin obviously will be N 50 paisa coin divided by NS. Now let us calculate NS. NS will be equals to total of all the coins over here. So let us add it. So 7180 it is. NS equals to 180. So this will be equals to 100 by 180. That is over here 5 by 9. Number 2, will not be a 5 rupee coin. Will not be a 5 rupee coin. So what we can do? This will be 170 by 180, or we will calculate this 5 rupee coin, and 1 minus that 5 rupee coin will give the answer. So P not 5 rupee coin equals to 1 minus P 5 rupee coin will be 1 minus 10 by 180 will be equals to 170 by 180 equals to 17 by 18. So I think all are easy sums. Let us move to the next sum. Question number 11. Now Gopi buys a fish from a shop for his aquarium. Here it is written, his figure is given of a lady and Gopi also name. So for her aquarium. The shopkeeper takes out one fish at random from a tank containing 5 male fish, 5 male fish and 8 female fish. What is the probability that the fish taken out is a male fish? So over here NE equals to N of male fish. We are taking E as the event of getting the male fish, will be equals to 5, and NS equals to N of total number of fish will be equals to 13. Therefore PE equals to P of male fish will be equals to 5 by 13. Now question number 12. Question number 12 is saying that a game of chance consists of spinning an arrow which comes out to rest pointing at one of the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So question number 12 we can say that S equals to numbers from 1, 2 till 8. Therefore NS equals to 8. What is the probability that it will point at 8 only? So out of this, number 1, E1 equals to event of getting 8. So NE1 equals to over here 8 only once we are getting. So NE1 equals to 1. Therefore PE1 equals to 1 by 8. NE1 by NS. We can write the formula also. If you do in your copy, write each and everything in detail, so that the evaluator will be most satisfied by your answers. An odd number. So E2 equals to event of getting odd number equals to, odd number is 1, 3, 5, 7. Therefore NE2 equals to 4. Therefore PE2 equals to NE2 by NS equals to 4 by 8 equals to 1 by 2. Number 3, a number greater than 2. E3 equals to event of getting a number greater than 2. Greater than 2. So greater than 2 will be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So therefore N of E3 equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Therefore PE3 equals to NE3 by NS equals to 6 by 8 equals to 2 3s and 2 4s equals to 3 by 4. Now a number less than 9. Less than 9 is all. So number 4 is 1. Because write properly, don't write 1 only. Over here write number 4. E4 equals to event of getting a number less than 9 equals to 1, 2, 3 up to 8. Therefore NE4 equals to 8. Therefore PE4 equals to NE4 by NS equals to 8 by 8 equals to 1. Write the process. Your evaluator should be satisfied with you. Okay. Now question number 13. A die is thrown once. What is the probability of getting a prime number, a number between 2 and 6, and odd number? This please do by your own. Number 14, one card is drawn from a well shuffled deck of 52 cards. What is the probability of getting this? Many options are there. So here first directly I am writing NS equals to 52. Okay. Now number 1, E1 equals to a king of red color, a king of red color. Now red color kings are 2. N of E1 equals to 2. Therefore P1 equals to 2 by 52 equals to 2 2s and 2 6 1 by 26. Number 2, E2 equals to a face card. Now face card we are knowing it is 12 in number. Therefore PE2 equals to NE2 by NS equals to 12 by 52. Equals to 3 by 13. Okay. Now number 3. Number 3 is a red face card. A red face card. E3 equals to a red face card. A red face card. In each 3 face cards are there. Now red options 2. That one heart and diamond. So 3 2s are 6 red face card. So NE3 equals to 6. Therefore PE3 equals to NE3 by NS equals to 6 by 52 equals to 2 3s are 2 2s are 2 6s are equals to 3 by 26. Number 4. Number 4 is the Jack of Hearts. E4 equals to event of getting the Jack of Hearts. Now the Jack of Hearts is one only, because king, queen and jack means in each there is 1 each. Means king is 1 in heart, queen is 1 in heart, and jack also is 1 in heart. So we can write NE4 equals to 1. Therefore PE4 equals to 1 by 52. Number 5 is the queen of a spade. Number 5 is a spade. Now spade is 13 in number. Let us write it E5. E5 is event of getting a spade. So NE5 will be 13. Therefore PE5 will be 13 by 52 equals to 1 by 4. Now number 6, the queen of diamonds. The queen of diamonds. So sorry, this I am writing as E6. Okay, event of getting the queen of diamonds. So PE6. In diamond only one queen is there, so over here NE6 is equals to 1. Therefore PE6 is equals to NE6 by NS equals to 1 by 52. So all very easy. Let us move to question number 15. Now question number 15, let us read first. 5 cards, the 10, the jack, 5 cards are there. 5 cards. And what were the cards? The 10, jack, queen, king. It is not specifying which type of king queen. I mean red, black, heart, diamond, nothing. Only 10 jack, queen, king and ace. And ace. And ace of diamonds. Oh, all are of diamonds only, I think. Means in diamonds the 5 cards are taken out. Those 5 cards are the 10 jack, queen, king and ace of diamonds. Now diamonds each is 1, that is the 10 also, jack, queen, king, ace, each is 1 in diamonds, and the diamond is a red card. Remember, diamonds are red card, 13 red cards over there in diamonds. Okay, now let us go to the question. One card is picked at random, number 1. So clearly we can write over here this one as S, 5 cards equals to S equals to this much. Therefore NS equals to 5. Okay. Now number 1, E1 equals to, what is the probability that the card is queen? E1 equals to event of getting a queen. Okay, event of getting a queen. So therefore NE1 equals to, over here how many queens are there? 1. Therefore PE1 equals to NE1 by NS equals to 1 by 5. And number 2, if the queen is drawn and put aside, now S equals to, means this queen is removed, so S is NS directly, or I am writing as 10 jack, king and diamond. Therefore now NS is 4, and E2 equals to that the second card picked up is an ace, number A. E2 equals to event that the card is an ace. So how many ace cards are there? 1 only. So NE2 is ace. So how many? 10 jack, king, diamond. No, sorry, not diamond. Ace over here. All are of diamond. Ace. So NE2 is 1. Therefore PE2 is 1 by, means NE2 by NS, because now NS has changed. So this will be equals to 1 by 4. And number B of subpart number 2 is a queen. So E2 equals to event that the card drawn is queen. So obviously NE2 will be equals to 0, because in this no queen is there. Queen has already been taken out. So therefore PE2 equals to NE2 by NS equals to 0 by 4 equals to 0. Now question number 16.